Brought to you by Penguin.
Nature and the Mind, The Science of How Nature Improves Brain, Body and Community by Dr Marc Berman. Read by Sean Patrick Hopkins.
Preface. This is an audiobook about the founding of a whole new field of scientific inquiry, one that describes the relationship between nature and the mind. Where shall we begin? We could start in 2012, when I coined the term environmental neuroscience to describe our new field, and we'll get there. We could go back further to my first memories of interacting with trees, and we'll get there too. But when I tell the story, I like to start with one study. Before that study, my path was unclear. After that study, the future became inevitable. I say the future here, and not just my future, because while this study changed my life, I think it will change yours too. We called this study A Walk in the Park, but designing it, even asking the questions that led to it, was far from easy. It took generations of theorizing on human nature and what environmental psychologists, of which I am one, call the human-nature connection. Though this study was far from easy, it seemed on its surface simple. We asked a group of volunteers to complete cognitive tasks designed to challenge their memory and attention, and then we sent them on a walk. For example, participants would hear digits out loud, like 49751, and then would need to repeat them back in backwards order, 15794. This is called the backwards digit span task, and it challenges participants' memory and attention. It is a hard task, and during the study, we kept increasing the number of digits, up to 9. Half the participants then went on a walk through nature, leaving the University of Michigan and strolling through the Ann Arbor Arboretum, then following a winding path down to the Huron River, passing the evergreens as they followed the trail. The other half walked for the same distance and the same amount of time, but followed a route through a busy urban part of Ann Arbor along a 4-lane street where cars whizzed by. They had to navigate intersections and walk along a commercial street with its storefronts and typical downtown atmosphere. When our volunteers got back to the lab, we retested them on the same memory and attention tasks, including the difficult backwards digit span task. To have more control over the experiment and to make sure there was nothing unbalanced in our groups, we repeated the whole procedure again a week later, switching which route we assigned to each person. So, a participant who walked through a busy urban area the first week then walked in nature the next week, or vice versa. Our findings were breathtaking and decisive. Our volunteers' performance on the memory and attention tasks greatly improved following their walk in nature, but didn't improve after a walk through a busy urban area. Other studies had asked people how they felt after time in nature, but none had ever quantified nature's impact on our cognition using objective measures. We published what we discovered in a prestigious psychology journal, where our paper became one of its most cited articles in that journal's history. Soon, reporters from all over the world began contacting me. They saw what we had. We were onto something. Back then, I could never have imagined what happened next. But now, I can see clearly that everything I'd experienced and everything I'd studied until this particular experiment had, in its way, prepared me for this moment, and prepared me to found the field of environmental neuroscience. This audiobook is a detailed account of this new field and its revolutionary findings, which show that the unique sensory experience of the natural world improves our cognitive, physical, social, and emotional well-being. It's also a story of how this new field came to be, and where I hope it will go next. Introduction. The Foundations of Environmental Neuroscience. We can never have enough of nature. We must be refreshed by the sight of inexhaustible vigor, vast and titanic features, the seacoast with its wrecks, the wilderness with its living.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?